Too bad you can't set Spidertrons on a pistol route permanently. Pistol? Oh, patrol route. Patrol route. What a day to be a subscriber. Woohoo! Hey, Galaxy Inferno codes. Alright, okay. So, hopefully Gleba was quite entertaining to watch. Ooh, look at that spread now on that, those spore clouds. These two, well, actually these three kind of create that shape, a triangular shape. Not quite, but you know what I mean. No clogged up trains, it's always good to see. How about everything else? Science is being made, always good. Where is Peridwen? Peridwen is... all requests are done. Oh, we're not dropping off enough science. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Alright. Novice, could you always make sure that you're collecting more science than Peridwen is delivering? I would rather it rot here than up there. Peridwen does not have the room for that. Oops. My bad. That shut down our production of ammo. Oh, dear me. How's everything else going? Actually, Nauvis is doing well. We've upgraded most of the assemblers at this point. Let's go ahead and upgrade more of them. In fact, let's do them in blocks. Let's not be too hasty. There we are. We're still... oh. Are we making level 2s? No. Where did we get level 2s from then? Speed. No, we've only got... huh. Oh, sorry. I guess I must have made them manually at some point then? No, I mean, that makes sense. I probably did that because this was a massive bottleneck. Still is, actually. Do we have a ship named Math yet? Math, rather. I feel a ship named Math would be appropriate in multiple ways. I'm assuming you mean Matholwch, and in which case, yes, would fit the Welsh mythology theme quite well. Those are all fine. Okay, we don't have enough speed modules. There's no point in me laying any more down. But it does look like we've got more assembly. More ass. Dear me. We should probably throw down to some more productivity. Yeah, got 69 of those. I'm not going to say it. You can say it if you want. But I refuse. Oh, I can't. Damn. Alright, never mind then. That does not work. Sad. But true. I'll get up to the rest of those in time. I'm not going to worry too much about the ones down here, though. We could throw down some more quality in the purple science. Might as well. Anywhere that uses quality already and where it makes sense, I may as well. Sure. There we go. And as for these... no. Okay. We wait then. All right, so we've created a stop for our new train. We need to make a train for the new stop. I wonder if I've got the means to just do that up here. I could probably hook a little train stop into this section somewhere. Just a little area where I could make a train that would then... actually, over here would do. Let's go ahead and do that. How many of these have we got? Have I got a specific... Can't easily see that way. So I'm going to need to look in here. Loco. Yeah, we haven't got any quality ones, sadly. Now, what kind of train am I making? I think we're making just a basic... See, this is the thing. I don't even remotely need this much carriage space. Not even remotely. Might it be better for me to make 2 locomotives a single wagon on the back? I could do a that's actually a good point. I could make it a double header. Just because it's a double header doesn't mean it needs to navigate your train network in a certain way. It can operate completely happily on a dual lane train network. It's just the stops where it pulls up will be able to be entered and exited in the same way. That's not a bad idea. Sure. Fuel. Could I get some nuclear fuel over here? Okay, so this is going to be... that's not what I want, actually. I want this to be a different group. 111. And will be a very specific train group. There we go. So we'll be the only train in this group. Right, so I need to change these. The depot that you go to will in fact be this one. Full fuel and inactivity for 5 seconds. That's fine. So take that one out. As for its pickup and drop off, let me go and refresh my memory on how this one does. Frontline supply. So yeah, I basically need a specialist pickup drop off for this one. So, get rid of these. We would have a... Well, I'm going to need to make the pickup and drop-off stations first. So for now, I won't add those in. I'm just going to tell you to go. Oh, you're not within logistics range. Damn it. Okay, drive remote manually. You can very slowly... I thought you could drive... Oh, no, you can't drive remotely that slowly. Okay. Let's request 1 bit of fuel over here then, because that is within range. That will allow me to pull it over here, then this one will get it, and then I can tell it to go. Hopefully. One would assume. Perhaps these... Oh, well, never mind. The assumption would be incorrect. There is, of course, an issue with having have this many chests to fill. And that is, it's going to take that long for it to fill up. There we go. Oh, yeah. You can go through all kinds of routes in order to get there now. Okay, well, that's kind of awkward. Also, because of this, I actually need this to move in a different way. Yep. And we'll get rid of all this. There we are. Right. I should make sure that all of the trains are fully fueled. This stop is stupid. This stop is absolutely bonkers. It'll load a train super fast, sure, but it's going to take an age for it to be ready to call a train. There's probably enough fuel here to get a train on the go. So we're going to change this up a little bit. I only need one side to load, realistically. We're going to grab all of this. This was telling it to load evenly. I'm not going to do that anymore. Going to strip all of that out. There you go. And going to dramatically change the way this works over on this side. Right, not quite what I meant to do, but sure. Trash unrequested. Also, just dump things into the network. Right, so what I would like is for this to be a little bit more repositioned. Right. Okay. Do I want all of these chests on each side? Almost certainly not. In fact, if I'm honest, it's going to be a million times easier for me to just rip all of this out and then replace it. There we go. The amount of chests here. I do need to read the contents of the chest, but we should be able to get all of that going. Alsora, thank you very much for the little raid there. Welcome, raiders. Come on in. We are currently in the process of undoing a lot of gubbins that I shouldn't have done. We will see how this goes. Oh, I need to stand over here so that the everything can grab from my inventory. All right. I'm going to want probably only 4 chests at each location. Want these to be able to unload quickly. I don't think I need to load them quickly, however. Just because of the fact that they're going to be coming down here like one at a time. But that should be everything I need. And then I will have that. Oh, let me move that over here and drop this off. War Dogs, thank you very much for the raid, mate. 2 raids back to back. Figured I'd follow Alsora. Well, fair enough. I was wandering a little bit. But welcome, everyone. Don't worry. Being there through quality modules into miners. God, oh no. I mean, oh yeah, no, that would cause such a mess. But at the same time, you probably do want to do that at some point. But yeah, I've had some issues with quality modules, and I have learned to be far more sparing in where I use them now. But my base is just spaghetti everywhere. I'm gonna be honest. Only a mess if you don't handle filtering. You know, there is that. Oh yeah, there's quality ore. There is absolutely quality ore. I don't think you can get it through recycle. You can't recycle into ore, can you? I don't know. You might be able to. But thank you so much for the raid. Let me get you a quick shout out. Unfortunately, Twitch is going to complain if I try to do 2 back-to-back, so hopefully I can remember in a few moments. There is no guarantee of that because Factorio is like... It's literally the game of, ooh, shiny. But thank you so much for the raid, mate. How is your Factorio adventure coming along? Right. I still need to hook these up to have... First and foremost, I want to pick that up. Oh, my lord. I can never pick it up. It's refusing me. There we are. Spidertron will be able to pick everything up. It should. Anyway. There we are. Right, so I want all of these to be hooked up via green circuits. Green wires, rather. There we are. Let's move this along. My lord. Lord Zenith, thank you very much for the raid. Were you all playing together in multiplayer? Ah, there's number 3. Completely. Oh, wonderful. Just an itty bit, little whittle raid. What? Every raid is a raid. But thank you very much. You might want to prepare for another raid. If only I'd read that first. Alright, there we go. Let's hook that up, and that should now get everything being calculated correctly. There we are. Alright, there we go. That's going to be so much better now. Took me a few moments to get this done, but we got there in the end. Yeah. Nuclear fuel depot redesigned. Far more sensible now. Slight delay, but I am here. Welcome in, mate. We just got the logistics network embargo achievement. 38 hours into the set. Very nice. I have... I'm not going for any achievements here. I'm just playing the game, trying to learn the game, making a mess as I'm doing it. And this is the first legitimate delivery of nuclear fuel that we're going to be getting over to the depot. That's actually quite awesome. Thank goodness I wasn't stood on the tracks when that happened, because I wasn't expecting it. There we go. And now these can unload slowly. Do these really not? Oh, no. Can they not? Oh, man. I was expecting these to be able to pick up several at a time. That's why I was using the stack inserters. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Where are you trying to go? Oh. Oh. Well, that's kind of ugly. It's now going to sit in this station until it can get over there. What I had hoped was that it would be smart enough to use one of these routes instead of trying to queue up there instead. You know what I could do, chat? It's going to look ugly, but I think it will save my poor addled brain from having to hate the fact that the stacker doesn't work the way I had initially intended it. Let's get over here. I'm going to force the issue a little bit. Yeah, I was hoping that the stack inserters would be able to pull out more nuclear fuel in one handful than just one, because of the nature of them being able to carry stacks. But the max stack size for that item is 1, so one item is a full stack. But, well, yeah, I guess that does make sense, actually. Annoyingly. It annoyingly makes sense. Right, so, first and foremost then, I'm going to have to break the system a little bit. So, sorry, trains, but you're going to get very angry with me for a little bit. And yeah, long trains, because chat loves long trains. That's pretty much it. Almost all of the shenanigans that I've gone into so far are because chat likes to see me struggle with shenanigans. Which, I mean, can't fault them for that. I'd like to be able to, but at the same time, I understand. Right, so there we go. That now connects correctly. What I would like to do next... actually, I'll do this from the Spidertron, because that way I am at significantly less risk of being run over. Like, way less risk of being run over. I'm next going to grab... Let's take these out. In fact, let's take all of these out until I know exactly where things are going. So I've got the new egg depot. I've got the liquids depot down here. I've got the supply train, the bullet train. This is... Because I hadn't planned to do this, like, it would be so much nicer if I had these all kind of within each other, but that's not the world we're living in right now, so we're just going to have to accept that one. But I'm going to say this one is for the top, so... actually, no, we'll do it in order. So this one is next. They're going to come up just a little bit. Move up. Can I make this work? I can. There we go. And now this is the liquid trains are the next, and they are going to be even more finicky. Okay, yeah, we really need to pull that back. We just make it work. And finally, this one out beyond it. Is that too many? Yes, it's too many. There we go. Right, so each stacker now services only that station. It's not as neat as it was before by an enormous margin, but it does mean that each one now only goes to the correct place. Does mean that this one is no longer useful though, which is a shame. Oh well. It's the pass through. Oh, one too many. And there we are. Oh, no. Counting my chickens before they hatched. Right, okay, now all of that's done, you should be able to head into the depot now correctly. That lane is sadly now not useful. I would like it if it were, but alas. I guess I could just use this as a... I suppose I could use this as setting up trains. I don't know. We'll just leave it there for now. Because this is very much not what I want. Later on, we will reorganize this so that, for example, I'll probably have this balloon out a little bit so that these kind of tracks will be within each other. What's that? Concentric curves? This is very ugly and hurts a bit, but it's functional, and it's more functional than what I had before, which was neat and tidy. But because I had to add in a new depot, it was no longer built for that. And the big problem here is that this cliff, until I've been to Vulcanus, I can't get rid of it. The second I've gone to Vulcanus, I can redesign this nice and tidy and it'll be wonderful. But chat wants to see me suffer, and that is why they keep sending me to everywhere but Vulcanus. Right, okay, so that's done. We've got a station for a tiny little train whose entire purpose is to take Bioflux to our captured, or well, once they are captured spawners, and to bring stuff back. Now, captured spawners will produce eggs. And 'tis the eggs that I'm going to need for overgrowth soil. Would I? Ooh. I guess I could bring the artificial jelly nut soil and the or just the jelly nut seeds here. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, I could bring the jelly nut seeds here because I'd be able to make nutrients out of fish. And so I could make the overgrowth jelly nut soil locally. Because sending the biter eggs to Gleba would be a pain. A bit of a stupid question, but if I enjoyed the demo with the mini objectives, will I enjoy the main game? Yes. If you enjoyed the demo, I can't imagine a reason why you wouldn't enjoy the main one. Does it just throw me in and like figure it out sort of thing? Less so than it used to. In that it now has, because of the way that the tech tree now works, you have to have done a thing to unlock progress. So it's kind of like the progress is a little bit more gated, and because it's more gated, it's more guided. But as you progress, it becomes more and more open-ended, yeah. Oh, did it actually say crafted on Gleba? Did I miss that? I may well have missed that. Oh yeah, crafted on Kleber, so I will have to send the egg thing, yeah. Oh no, wait, that's artificial. Yeah, no, it still is, yeah. Interesting. 30 minutes, otherwise they pop big biters. And I can never, I would never be able to set up a spawner on Gleba because it can only be built on Nauvis. Ooh, very interesting. That's gonna be a tricky one to set up then. I kind of like that though. We would have to have a fast hauler for that one. A very fast hauler. Mike Latz, welcome mate. Thank you so much for dropping by. Hello Raiders. Bioflux to eggs to nutrients gives so much nutrients. Oh, okay. So I'd be able to use the nutrients out of the eggs themselves. All right, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, lots of raids in the last couple of... I'm very, very fortunate because had it been like 20 minutes earlier, I would have probably still been on tea break. I went to sleep last night on someone else's stream and I remember waking up on yours. I see. Well, welcome back. Whose stream did you go to sleep watching? Out of curiosity. Alright, is Twitch going to shout at me? Have I waited long enough to use the shout out command again? There we go. Thank you so much for the raid, mate. Don't worry, you can go to sleep on this one and wake up to Aavak still being. I feel called out. Rude. I feel more called out because it is absolutely true. Nevertheless, I mean, we've been going for 9 hours. That's small. What do you mean you don't want me to wrap up yet? What about small, cozy little tiny Diddy streams? Basically a bedtime story. 9-hour bedtime story. Not a big book, you know, just a little fable. It's fine. An apologue, if you like. How's my expansion experience been? Not too bad. I've only been to Gleba, but I'm back from Gleba now, and Gleba seems to be in a relatively good state. I'm happy with where Gleba is at the very least. Gleba seems to be safe-ish. Actually, on that note. You know what? Sure. Now that I've got the means to, why not? We will fully mine around that outpost. There you go. It'll take a long while for them to get all of the landfill to finish doing it, but it's fine. The presence of the fact that we've got Spidertrons is making keeping Gleba safe significantly easier than it was before. But I still, like, I genuinely don't want to just turn Gleba into Nauvis 2.0. I don't want to just build a massive wall around it, and I don't want to have to, you know, be constantly going out and cleaning out the bases. I love the idea of the kind of distant farms where each farm gets visited so infrequently that that massive puff, the kind of the bloom of spores that initially happens when the train visits and the farm kicks into life and starts harvesting, because the farms will only engage when a train is there or on the way. But then it'll be so long before the train next visits that the environment will just soak up all of the spores before it ever really starts causing issues with the natives. I like that idea. Yeah, I do have a Spidertron. I have a Spidertron on each planet at the moment. It's not super well equipped. I'll give you a quick show of what it's got. It's fairly basic. Oh yeah, you'll absolutely cover the same total amount of chunks either way. But one of the things that I've noticed is that there are rounding errors. Now this is entirely entirely a what's the term when it's not hard evidence but more just observational evidence, anecdotal, I think, but pollution, or spores in this case, will spread to tiles, and this is true of pollution as well, will spread at a steady rate between tiles. But when two sources are spreading onto the same tile, it seems to linger more than twice as long, from what I've seen. And again, that's very anecdotal. So if someone has hard evidence that that is not the case, then please speak up, because that will help me change the way I play in many ways. But that's been my experience. It's better to have sources further apart than mixing together, because as the sources kind of merge between themselves, it takes much longer than simply twice as long for the environment to absorb that pollution again. So trying to keep them further spread out will hopefully keep that to a minimum. And also, the very nature of building one of these bases is going to involve a certain degree of eviction of the local glebe nests around it. So, you know, there's a certain amount of combat that's always going to be the case. But as long as the spore clouds don't get a chance to spread too far, it's probably going to be fairly localized, quite limited in scope. You are way too close, though. I really dislike that nest in particular, so we're just going to remove that before sending the Spidertron back. I've really enjoyed Gleba. I mean, it's the only other planet I've been to so far, so I can't give any specific thoughts on ranking the planet, but I've massively enjoyed Gleba. Let's go stand over here so that the bots can remove the eggs from our inventory and put them back into the system. There we go. I recently got big stompers, but I had Artie just before, so I've been fine, and I spam a lot of landmines. We had big stompers just before I managed to get the Spidertron over here. The mines were still handling them. They were very, very easily putting them down. I was honestly really concerned when I saw big stompers, but they have not been in any way a real threat, especially since the Spidertron. The Spidertron just wrecks them. Honestly, the tank wrecked them. Piercing tank shells absolutely demolished the big stompers. You did Fulgora and Vulcanus first. That makes a lot of sense. War Dogs makes a lot of sense. And let's see if Twitch is done. I really do wish that Twitch wouldn't insist on, you tried to use this too recently. Let's get a shout out for War Dogs. There we are. Thank you very much for the raid there. Sorry, it took me a little while to get around to getting that shout out done. But it does. I don't understand why Twitch is like, no. You try shouting out multiple people in the same few minutes. It's impossible to live at such speed. You're a madman. It's like, dude, if you're gonna let them raid me that frequently, then... Vulcanus was a lot easier. I imagine that having been on Gleba first, because again, chat, though I will say once more, chat aren't trolls. They want to see me at my best, and they know that my best comes as a direct consequence of agony. I'm at my best when the universe is at its worst, and so they sent me to Gleba first. That being said, again, quite hamming that up, I actually really enjoy Gleba. I've had an enormous amount of fun. It feels very different from a regular Factorio run, and I'm relishing that. Right, anyway, so we've got everything sorted for the drop-off. Sorry, the depot. I need to make a drop-off, and I need to make a pickup. Now, for the pickup. Should we reuse Raven 2290's abandoned mine? I could go for drop table, but honestly, if we do it at Ravens, it'll be that much closer. That being said, I could easily pop a little bit of something over here too. The thing is, Bioflux is going to have to be delivered via bot, because Bioflux comes from here. That being said, I could probably just tuck something in here. Ooh, I could easily do that actually. But I'd also be bringing the eggs back down here. Now, okay, let's create the system that is going to be making use of the eggs first and foremost. Right, so we want to know how to make biolabs. Biolabs require 10 eggs, 25 concrete, 1 lab, 2 capture bot rockets, and 3 uranium. All of these things I can get. Got the uranium mines just down here. Maybe this is a better place to have it, since uranium is right next to this location. So the bots wouldn't have to move that too far. Although, at this point, it's much of a muchness, really. Doesn't really matter where. I'm going to have to move a bunch of gubbins. I kind of like the idea, though, of having this just kind of tuck in. Since we've got the double-header trains for these, why not make use of them? This is a very convenient place for me to pop this setup. There we go. And then we want a route back out. Something right there. And a route in. Right there. There we go. Right, that'll be our drop-off location. Let's move this just to make things a little bit neater. Well, I guess both of them are drop-off locations in a way. Right, so there's only one carriage. I'm not going to require this place bring a huge amount of eggs, but they've got half an hour to be broken down. What I could do, since we're actually very close to the furnace... What if I do very similar, similarly to the way we do it on Gleba with the pentapod eggs? I simply try to grab everything I can. If I can't manage to, then I just let it go and get broken down. There's no particular reason not to. Except the eggs are a good source of nutrients. Is there really any value to fish other than spidertrons? And obviously healing. No. Also, is there anything I would want to do over here with biochambers in particular? Are they better at making... Well, actually, yeah, no, any recipe they can do comes with the inherent 50% bonus. So, actually, yeah, kind of. Anything I can use them for instead of a chemical plant is just inherently better. Also, I could use them to turn the spoilage into carbon. Well, that's useful. I would need to bring the biochambers over here, but I could definitely do that. Okay, well, there may be a reason to do that then. I'm not going to fuss about it too much right now, but that is definitely definitely on the agenda. So we're going to make this in here. I don't know exactly where we're going to be doing it yet. I could honestly just have the train just unloading directly into this. That is not outside the realms of possibility. It's not necessarily a good way of doing it, I'm perfectly honest. But also, since this is now only a 3-length train, let me just change the interface so I can see that a bit better. All right, this one's going to be... I guess this will be the requester of eggs. And for the naming convention, it should be requester cargo egg. There we go. Now, very much like the bullet train. Actually, I'm going to give these ones a very special one. I'm going to give them the buffer chest because it's both requesting and it's providing. But then I don't directly have an obvious pickup drop-off location. So I will go with requester. It's fine. I'll just have to remember that there's a very specific way that this works. Right. So the way that this will work is the train will come here first. It will pick up Bioflux. Then it will go to the actual egg area, drop off the Bioflux. Ooh. No, we can't do it that way because I want the Bioflux to be picked up very specifically. Then delivered to the egg chamber. Then picked up eggs, and then the eggs dropped off here. There'll be 3 stops before it goes back. So this is requesting the eggs. How about... Can I make this work? I suspect it's not going to be easy, but we'll see. So this is the point where we leave. So there we are. We might be able to make this work. Also, what's happening? Oh, that's fine. I'm going to have to shimmy this one over a bit. We'll pop it there instead. Let's just make sure that that doesn't create too big of a hole. And then we're going to have another station right next to it. That will be the Bioflux station. There we are. We can have this in the middle just to separate these. This should not be a single junction, so let's not make it one. This should just be a single route in here. Ideally. Let's wait for that to be delivered. That one still doesn't like it. If I remove that, will that be okay? I mean, realistically, it should be fine. That is rare. We don't often see the oil train make a visit. It doesn't move around too much these days. Okay, this will work. And we'll have another station over here. This one will be for Bioflux. A provider for... Alright, Bioflux. There we go. It's going to be a very simple station, this one. And red seems like a good enough color. We'll have one train limit. It's probably going to be the only place that does that. Also, this one needs to be a requester of eggs now, not a provider of them. And let's change the color to something a little bit more egg-like. More browny. Maybe pull it down here somewhere. 180, 120, 15. There we go. Okay, so this place is simply going to be a drop-off location. A collection spot for Bioflux. As such, it really does only need one thing. And that is going to be a requester chest for Bioflux. I could have... Yeah, I don't really want it to be too full, so a single requester chest is more than enough. A bulk inserter, and then I want this to only remove the Bioflux. I feel like I'm going to need to make a dedicated hauler, because once we take the Prid one away, I don't think having the Prid one make too... Like, I don't want the Prid one to be constantly bouncing back and forth. I think we're going to need another dead ship for this. This one will be spoilage. That being said, actually, if this requests bio... No, you know what? I don't need something pulling it out. This should be fine. Right, stack size is 100, so that's only 10 stacks. Thing is, do we really want like 40,000 in here? It doesn't really matter ultimately. 5,000 rather. It doesn't matter. I will request some buffer chests though. The reason why it doesn't matter is that it'll rot over here or it'll rot over here. It'll rot somewhere, so I may as well have it be useful to me in this location. And that's all this is. It just requests alerts. Actually, shouldn't even alert the train. How do I do this? Like, how am I going to trigger the train? Because with the bullet train, it's if any outpost requires combat supplies, then the bullet train goes up to where it loads whatever's available because it's asynchronous, and then it goes there. I don't want the bullet train to refuse to deliver walls and ammo to a place because it can't pick up enough construction bots. If the place is only requesting ammo, just go and pick up everything you can out of the list of things that an outpost wants and just take whatever is available over there. That's the way that we're running the bullet train. I think this needs to work in very much the same way. So what's the crucial part? I'm going to say, based on what I've seen, it's not eggs. It's actually the Bioflux. Or specifically, if the spawner is hungry. If it's low on food, because if it runs out, I believe that they revert back to their original uncaptured state. Oh, that is a passive provider. I do apologize. Yeah, no, this place should be providing. Yeah. This is requesting the Bioflux over here, and then we load her onto the train. Yeah, I think if the biter base needs Bioflux, it doesn't matter if there's a full train load. Go and pick up all the Bioflux you can and take it there. And whilst you're down there, pick up any eggs that it has and bring them back. I think that makes sense. Once the eggs are here, try and make stuff with them, but anything that you can't make, Send it to the furnace. In that case, I'm going to say I want different things here. These ones in the middle, they'll burn anything at whatever temperature. Because if like coal or, if carbon gets down here, because I don't want carbon up there. Carbon is just being used to supplement my my furnaces right now. So if I've got an abundance of carbon, just get rid of it. Don't let it back up. Same with wood. Yeah, I'm actually going to take this off. And that's going to be the case with all of these. They no longer care. As long as they've got something to burn, they'll burn it. And that will include eggs. I haven't checked if you can shove a capture rocket into a Spidertron yet. I haven't even built one, if I'm honest, Rotrain. I'm sorry to say. So we will find out, but that is not a high priority for me right now. First, I want to get this sorted. Oh. Oh, I can't even do that yet. I need to build the capture rockets first. Oh, I've got to capture any spawn. Okay, well, you know what? Sure. I guess that's what we're going to do then. Though first I'm going to need to... Well, actually, yeah. First I need to set up the delivery of stuff to the base. So I guess for the time being, we're going to simply have a train that exists only to destroy eggs. That feels horrible to say. Yeah, we should. There's no getting away from it. Want you to be able to unload very quickly. And all of the eggs should... We'll just balance... remove them in a balanced way. It's fine. Oh. That's fine. The biters getting a little bit worried. They know what's coming. Like, children! Protect the hatchlings! It's fine. There you go. Exists purely to get rid of them. Feels horrible to say, but there we are. War Crime Express. How dare. Gonna tie them to the tracks and twirl your mustache. No, I'm gonna feed them to the generator just like I did to the children in Frostpunk. The generator hungers for tiny little hands and innocent little faces smudged with coal. Doesn't care whether the face is human or biter. Just it craves the face. And so it will feast. We serve the furnace. All praise the furnace. Okay. So, right now, this place is keeping all of the biters behaving. What we're going to want to do is set up a little defensive structure down here, which is going to require... Are we going to have a dedicated wall drop? I mean, I guess we could. The other thing, though, I could easily have it supplied by this wall as well. And that makes a lot of sense to me, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't see much of a reason not to just have this feed down and hook it up. So we're going to feed that part in right there so that I can run cabling down and around. We only need to take it out to this side and then straight down, I would say. I am going to need to connect the bot network, though. Also, I'm going to need this to be moved up a little bit so it's not in the way of the connection there. We're probably going to want to change a few things, actually. Okay, let's head on down. Let's start expanding this out. We're going to bring this wall all the way across and then straight down, in effect. More, it's just going to bring the supplies of the ammo. I'm not going to bring the flamers. I could, I guess, but I'm not too worried about that. Oh, they actually, the splitters managed to get you. Should we dedicate the baby sacrifice to Moloch? My lord. A train that only exists to throw babies into ovens. Why have you got to say it like this, Chad? We're the good guys. I'm the good guy. No! Shit! Well, that is unfortunate. God damn it, that sucked. I completely forgot that it had the with gunner active, and I was expecting that because I was in there it wasn't going to fire, but I remember I turned that on. And then I forgot to turn it back off. Okay, well, that makes this more complicated because that was the perfect location for it. Big oof! We saved the babies! Hooray! We are the heroes of the people. Shifty eyes. Thank you so much, very, very kind, friendly ghost who just pitied us so much. He just gave us 5 gift subs. Diolch yn fawr iawn. That's very kind of you. It takes the sting off a little bit, not much. That was the perfect place for us to get those eggs. The 2 hatcheries. We had everything else in place. God damn it. Okay, well. And before anyone asks, no, this is a strict no save scumming playthrough. Well, that does make things much more complicated now, doesn't it? But we do have this spot that I could go and clean out. You little scoundrel. Akira Dragonborn, I blame you for this. I am blameless. You, however, scallywag. No, don't pick up fish. What about the far west? I mean, here? I mean, I guess I could. But that's a bit too far for me to bridge and feel good about it. I think, no. No, we're just going to take this one on the chin. It was an honest to goodness mistake. I feel dumb for it, but we're just going to change our plans. Are you laughing at me? Rude. He's having a little chortle over there. To my misfortune. What a scoundrel. Alright. That did suck. However, we can pretend it was all part of my cunning plan so that I could keep these radars on all the time. Yes, that's the whole reason we came down here. Nothing about, like, biter babies. No, 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 no. What? Oh. Fair enough. Alright, then. If we're gonna isolate this, I'm gonna need to kill these nests. And then we're going to need to set up, expand out, rather, the defensive system of lasers just to eliminate And only to eliminate the actual spawn of the nests. How many nests? There's another 2, so it's fine. It's fine. Basically nothing changed. The peninsula below my to-do list. Yeah, no, I'm not really looking. That feels too far away, and it's a massive area. It would be good to take it because I want the oil eventually anyway, but for now, we're not going to worry about that one. With enough landfill, you can make an island. They can move over to. That's true, actually, but. I'd rather work with the land formation we've got. It's part of the fun, in my opinion. There we go. Trying to make it very difficult for the worms to predict where my Spidertron is going to be, so it can't hit us with the spit. There we go. Thank you so much for those gift subs, though. That was incredibly generous of you. And as I said, did take a little bit of the sting out of wasting what felt like a perfect spawn area for our biter egg harvest operation. But when I say it like that, again, I'm forced to question, are we the baddies? Oh, it's less a question at this point. It's just more remembering that we are. There we go. Uh-oh. How's Spider Champ doing? Let's just clean out the last little bit of this area. There we go. Have I got enough rockets left? Should do, I think. Yeah, we're fine. And we'll just clean this little area up as well, since it's a little bit close for comfort. Right, there we go. Nice and clean and ready for us to expand into. Right. With Gunner, no longer fire your rockets, please. Right. Going to need a laser blueprint. Scrap you. And these are going to have target priorities for only the spawn of a biter nest. Also the worms, I suppose. Though once the worms are down, only the spawn are necessary. The reason why I'm adding them in this order is I'm adding them in the order of danger I perceive from them. Ignore any other target, please. And then just filter that around. And we'll expand this out a little bit over the last one. Right. Okay, so with that, yoink. Let's go and lead this northward. How close can I get without them triggering? About that close, apparently. Really? Right. Weapon systems online. We're going to lose some, and that's just a reality here. There we go. Not too many lost. That'll do. Right, so now we've got that. Sadly, we're going to need a load more lasers than we did the first time because they're accessible by the biters, not just the spitters. And that causes trouble. This many should be able to melt even the behemoths. Could do with some more, but yeah, we're gonna head down, grab some more, come back, and then actually begin the construction of the fortified area around everything. I will have gun turrets being supplied, and they will absolutely shred the behemoths, but first I need to get the perimeter set up. How are we doing? Probably set up some more. Or set up a nuclear plant. That is definitely an option. Eventually they might resettle that area, and if they do, I may get back there and start taking it again, but we'll see. Hopefully we've been given... Actually, can I add in... lasers, defense lasers. Actually, let's also add in defense infrastructure. No. Outpost supplies, though, yeah. That will be useful for us to set up the initial area. Though that being said, I guess if I'm going to be doing it properly, I should take guns and ammo too. I am really strongly considering setting up flamers, but that will be a potch. So for now, I think we'll hold off. Why not wall in front of the laser towers? Asks Helicus. It's because they're not going to be there for very long. That's the only reason. We're going to be branching off about here, I think. Setting up a wall going up to this location. Either that, or I could have the wall branch here and try and isolate more of it. It's kind of a tricky one to say which one is the right option there. The main thing, though, is to ensure that we have enough powerful defenses around. Why do you hate me? I swear. Bridwan, could you bring me some bioflux? I'm just going to hope that once I've captured them, I can protect them. Oh, this is going to be a bit of a rough one. That's a lot. It's a whole... I'm going to have to customize this down to 500. It's a waste of a rocket in a way. Genuinely is. You should not have that many. That works a bit better. Likewise, only 500 here. Only 1,000 of these. Don't bring more than that. Right, there's no bioflux available on Gleba because I don't stockpile it. That is an issue. Where would be the best place to gather it from? Science isn't a bad place. I want this to use filters, only pick up bioflux. Pop that into a... That's a provider chest. And that should take care of it. This place doesn't have the greatest output of bioflux. Well, actually, probably one of these ones would be the better one. Yeah, actually, that would be the better one. Let's set that up down here. I'm going to say this is only allowed to activate if this tile has bioflux on it. That way it won't steal bioflux away from the nutrient production line. Otherwise that could be quite problematic for us. There we go. Oh. Huh. Normally, we would have left at this point. Let me have a look at this. Normally we should have left. Yeah, there we are. Output single is an X. Oh, I see. Edit the interrupts or circuit condition is an X. If I'm carrying something that says I need to go home because this is perishable, take me home because I'm carrying something perishable. Now, of course, I'm leaving now before I had a chance to pick up items, but that's okay for now. I'll allow these to stockpile. I don't want too much of them stockpiling. In fact, I'll allow this much to stockpile. Is that the waistline? Technically, yes. It can certainly be a waistline. Now I've done that, I need to push this back to the way it was before. There we go. Right, that should take care of things now. We'll see, but Right, Pridwen is on its way back. Yeah, it's not great. It's half of a rocket's worth, but Pridwen is not built to carry a lot of goods. It's not a hauler. Oh, it's actually healing itself. Nice. Let's try and repair things. Okay, so with that in mind, let's start designing the wall. I could honestly just have a system very much like this. Just straight going up. There's a lot of reasons to do that. I don't need anything more powerful than I've currently got. I could use what I've set up on Gleba, which would mean I would need rocket turrets as well, which I do have some of. There would certainly be a convincing defensive line. But if I do that, I need to design it properly. So let's pop that down there for a second. Let's get all of these out. I would want these to only engage behemoth anythings. There we are. The laser turrets should only engage spitters. And biters. But favor the spitters first. And then these should only engage the biters. And then spitters if they come within range, but focus on the biters first. I would need this to basically curve around here, but don't really have the best position for it. Kind of foregoing the whole dragon's teeth setup over here. Because on Gleba that wouldn't have mattered, but here it would actually help. So I may change this up a little bit. Oh, these are going to be wanting blue belts. I will need to correct that. Right, down here is where we'll connect in. This is where the main connection will branch. Can I get this in that little gap, I wonder? I can, more or less. It's not particularly good to have broken it up like this, but again, it does work for now, so it's good enough for me. So. There we go. Now, I'm not going to remove this side. I think I'm just going to keep that as it is. This will be a little bit of an extra defensive precaution against an egg breach. Right, let's switch these. So I want to flip these around. Just make sure all of those are properly set up. They are. There we go. The bot should very quickly put that together. Spidertron can help too. Right, now I've got to rotate all of these around because a bunch of them are going to be pointing the wrong way, sadly. There you are. All done. Now, the rocket turrets, they're going to be a potch. Also, thinking about it, they're not actually going to have rockets. I'm going to need to start adding those into the list of things requested at the stops. So, to that end, I'm going to add in... Do I have something for that? No, I don't. We will want the rocket turrets and a bunch of just regular rocket ammo. There we go. How much do they stack to? Stack size 10. 10 then. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't be requesting 500. 200 will do. Right. Let's make sure that that's now being requested down here as well. So, add in rockets. Oh, yeah. Now, I'm not actually building the rocket turrets yet. I just have a couple lying around. So, we probably should. But they're a little bit more convoluted to set up. Gonna need carbon fiber, processing units, 20 iron gears, 20 steel plates, and 4 rocket launchers. And the rocket launchers are gonna need a bunch of their own gubbins. I'm probably gonna be lazy with these for now. In the short term, we're gonna be super lazy. And I'm going to set these up to just use the bots to be constructed. Hook this up. Only supply if rocket launchers, because these are gonna they've got a stack size of 5 actually. Is below 10, so 2 stacks of rocket launchers. And this should only supply, oh, actually no, I'm gonna need this one to pull from that. There we go. Let's get rid of these. This one I can simply limit. I guess I could do the same thing over here if I'm honest, given that since I'm not going to be putting two separate things in there, I may as well limit it in that way instead. But now we want a requester chest. Pop that there. And iron gear electronic circuit. I could do this programmatically, but we're not going to in this case. Eventually, we're going to want a manufacturing line of these. Steel gear. We've already got gears, it's fine. So, steel processing units. And carbon fiber. And that's everything. There we go. And that will provide me with the necessary materials. Have we got all of this built? We do. Marvelous. At this point, though, I'm going to need rockets to be added in. Well, I no longer want these belt balanced then. Instead, I'm going to want... these to be unloading rockets. Oh wait, no, I need those to go on this side. Damn. Oh yeah. Now, they're going to be kind of squiff. Unfortunately, it's just the way that one's going to be. But eventually they will correctly balance onto the other side. Unless they're being belt balanced further down. They're not. So I should see ammo on one side, rockets on the other. For now, this is good enough. Mostly going to be unloading rockets onto this belt for a while. Right, okay. So with that... probably want to build a defensive line out here as well if I can. Though, actually no, because once these are captured, that's it, they're captured. Or at least that should be the case. Right. Let's get down here. How is Prudwen doing? And has Prudwen got... oh, you have? Fantastic. You've also got the science. Double fantastic. Let's get you back. So, at this stage, I can now look to make the capture rockets. Which I'm going to need 20 bioflux for. To make the biolabs as well, I believe. So, given that... to make the capture rockets, again, is bioflux, flying robot frame, processing units, and steel. Let's just manufacture those in this way. This is not an expandable setup at all. Flying robot frames instead of these. This one might actually be a bit of a tricky one, because I don't believe we're making those in any kind of significant quantity. And the bioflux. We are not. Oh, that's a bit of an awkward one. 50, 15. Yeah, we're throwing more and more of these out onto the belts. Ugh. Alright. We'll make a passive provider. Only allow it to store up 2 stacks of it. I could have you help out a little bit, though. Let's get you making the flying robot frames. Yeah, we should be able to pull all of these materials together just to supplement what we've got going on there. Really? I not got inserters? Say it isn't so. That can't possibly be the case. Am I just outside of robot range? No, I'm not. What? Oh, okay, fair enough. Now then, I'm going to assume that these do not decay. I could be wrong, though. There we go. I've already got 50, never mind. So it's just the bioflux we need now, then. Where's Pridwan? Ah, crap. You know what I wasn't doing? I wasn't requesting it. How about we turn around and go back? Yeah. Silent Screamer says, hello, do you have any tips for beginners? That was 20 minutes ago. I'm so sorry. I was very absorbed. Well, it depends what you're looking for from a tip. My usual go-to would be, don't stress about ratios in the beginning. Just try to get something that works. Don't get absorbed and distracted by the idea of making something that's perfect, because perfect is the enemy of good. That would be the biggest tip straight out the gate. Yeah, we are planning to build a proper cargo hauling one, yeah. Kayan says, take things one step at a time. Set mini goals for yourself, if you have to. Yeah, no, I agree with that one. That's a pretty solid one. Mythgar says, good evening, Aavak and Dabblings. I hope you and yours are all doing well, and the factory continues to grow splendidly, if you don't mind me asking. Would you expect this stream to have at least another 3 hours left? Yes. Yeah, handedly. I need some pleasant background noise to keep on while I attempt to distract from a recent tragedy. Oh, I'm so horrible. Sorry to hear that. Hope... Well, I mean, if it's a recent tragedy, it's not really going to get better. I hope you can move past it, I guess is the best way to put that. But, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Right, did any of that get brought over here? It did not, sadly. Okay. Let's just remove that request for now. Just so some of it gets moved elsewhere. And then I will set this up to request like 100 at a time. That's all I'm going to need for now. Right, we're getting the capture rockets made. Right, okay, so for you, can I request those rockets? Let's just try that. No. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Please bring them back. Oh, yeah. Yes, you can. So that is actually pretty cool. Gonna load up with just those capture rockets. Train has got bioflux. And I'm going to request some bioflux as well. Just so I can immediately give some to the nests. That'll do. Right. Let's get back up there. Despite the concern about the rockets damaging the nests, it doesn't look like they have. And they are within the minimum range, but it looks like the lasers are just melting everything way too fast. Way too fast. Wow, do I really not have long-handed inserters up here? Okay. Oh no, there we go. No, 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 back. Naughty, 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 naughty. Scoundrel, you. Alright, let me allow you to attack with Gunner. Yep. No, the Spidertron can absolutely use them. Just anchored it. Oh, wow. Those look like quite painful wounds. Pop. There we go. Right, okay, so going to want to hop out and hand deliver some bioflux to each one. Oh, this is immediately going to start production of the eggs. Ah, damn it. Okay. Doesn't actually appear to be decaying. Okay. I'm on board with this so far. Right, we have now researched something new. We can go for the biolab, which we shall. Let's move that down. Overgrowth soil as well, which I guess we may as well, but I'll pop that at the end of the queue rather than at the front. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to remove these. I know, brave / stupid. I evidently need to bring along... actually, I'm going to take that out. We very clearly need to bring along some long-handed inserters. I'll put that into my request queue, though. That way the front guns will get their weapon loadout. I would kind of like to have this setup facing. But I also want to be able to remove... because these are now buildings for all intents and purposes. This makes it a little bit more complicated for me. We're going to need to bring up a train line up into here to be able to deliver and remove certain items. We could... locally. I'd also want to collect rot, I guess. Yeah. I would only want to unload eggs into a train when a train is here. That's going to be the control at this point. So I think I'm going to... We're just going to branch this down from this point. There we are. I'm going to remove all of this. I know it's kind of scary to do, but we're going to do it anyway. There we are. I'm, for the sake of completeness, going to use a tunnel and then branch that off. I will have something similar over here. Where we are going to set up... I don't think it needs to be anything more than lasers, frankly. Oh, wait, no, they're fine. I was about to say, wait, they're probably going to immediately open fire, but they won't. Not right now, anyway. And somewhere in the middle. Now, all of these should be given the same combat priority as these lasers. Some of them I'm going to be taken away because I'm going to want a route for belts to travel through here. Just want to properly isolate this area. Right, okay. With that done, if I can simply set up the rails, then deliveries of Bioflux should commence. Or I could at least request it. So with that in mind, let's move you there and there. Because we are going to take this straight up. Right. That is quite a ways away. Let's pop this in here. We've got signals down there which should accommodate the large train. We'll see. In fact, let me just double check that. Fairly certain the two signals apart is enough. Yes. Oh, actually, no. Maybe not then. No, that looks right. So we're going to want an exit point on this side. Exit point here. Entry point here. And there we go. Sorted. Right, let's start taking these northward. What on earth? Oh, my lord, a cliff? Really? Oh, you scoundrel, you. Though, I suppose this train won't need to worry about that, since it's such a diddy train. I can just have it merge. Wow, I actually will be able to have it merge. And then from this point onwards, it's just a single line. Until I can fix that with cliff explosives, I'm not gonna faff around with it. let's head on up. How are they doing? They're actually doing all right. Oh. They consume but do not... They're not making more. All right, fair enough. Interesting. Right, so what kind of station is this going to be? This is going to be a... got a request for eggs. This would be a supply of eggs, I guess. We've also got... Do I have the... Oh, we've got the supply of Bioflux. Yeah, actually, this will be the request of Bioflux. And we'll just pick up any eggs that happen to be here and drop them off at the egg location. Yeah. One train at any one time. Just because I like to be very explicit with such things. Right, okay. So this is going to be a request. The station is going to need to request whenever... Oh, actually, what's it going to supply? First, it's going to supply eggs. And it's also going to supply rot. And it is going to request Bioflux. I'll have eggs at the end. Well, realistically, the eggs would also be able to rot. Thinking about it. No, they wouldn't. They would hatch. But it'll only remove eggs when a train is on the way. That's what I will say. But rot, it'll remove at any particular time. So I'm going to set this one up to grab the rot. Well, to be honest, I may as well just load everything in one place. There's no real reason not to. This shouldn't be something that is very... that there's going to be a large amount of. The other thing I could do is I could simply burn the rot at this point. I could absolutely do that. That does have Bioflux, which is nice. This will unload everything. Actually, never mind. The rot will go in there, and it'll provide me a tiny amount of power. Right. So I want to. Any rot should be removed. Because the Bioflux can rot, I'm going to assume. And additionally, any eggs should be removed, but these ones should only activate when they are sent a signal. And that should be that C is greater than 0. Right. We are going to want to... Cannot wire them. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. I was hoping that I'd be able to check what they had. Okay, so how am I going to check that out then? I guess I could read the contents of a chest. I could just check if I've got bioflux available. And if I don't... But I would much prefer this to be in a chest, if I'm honest. Which I could do. Like this. How much bioflux is here? Not a lot anymore. I can live here. Let's turn these around. This should only remove bioflux. There we are. And this should load whatever. Oops. Okay. I've only got 2 and there'll only be ever be 100 in here, so I'm not too worried about that. I need to go back and grab some long-handed inserters. While I'm down there, I will also grab up some bioflux, if there's enough. I'm going to create a decider. That will check... Actually, I'm going to need a combinator as well. Well, there is a lot of ways that I could do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want 100 bioflux. On the red wire. Oh, sorry, on the green wire. This will be on the red wire, and if the rockets is less than 20, then output bioflux input count from green. And then that can go down there, and I will set requests based on that. I'm going to remove this one. This way it'll only request bioflux if I'm actually needing to make rockets. That's about to rot. Actually, I've requested... Oh, God, way too much bioflux. Remove that. And pop these back into...